You want to just talk about ourselves and what else our other hobbies and interests are?
Not really.
Not without Charles here. We got to hear about him buying medium shirts and running.
That's every episode. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of 5 Idiots Talking Toys. It is a collector's podcast. You can watch us on YouTube or listen on your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Apple Podcast. Please follow us or subscribe wherever you listen and watch. And you can also swipe up on those apps and give us a review on Spotify or Apple. That will help us out a lot. Appreciate that. Let's bring the fellas in now. Lord Walden, there he is. I got small. Can you believe that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Brandon is here. He's small.
Ew. I don't like
And
these.
Chris is here.
Lord Chris.
Lord Chris is here.
His head takes up the whole screen, so
Now I'm big. All right, so I am going to switch this up. Let's get into our four corners like usual. How's everybody doing tonight?
Same as previous episode.
Pretty good.
I am doing fantastic, Shane. Just had a nice cup of coffee. I am full of energy.
Oh, I'm putting my wires are connecting now. I know why you're drinking coffee. I got it now.
Does coffee really like?
No.
It doesn't do anything for me.
No.
He's not drinking Amstel. He's drinking caffeine, baby.
Normally, I'd be drinking alcohol, but we actually make a pot of coffee normally every night, and we can go and we both go right to bed afterwards.
Yeah.
Caffeine does nothing for me.
Me neither.
Yeah. I wish caffeine did more for me. If it does
keeps
anything,
me from getting a headache, but that's about it.
That's what it does. Same thing with me.
You're cracking up a sugar-free Red Bull at
6
a.m. in
a.m.
the morning, waking Shane up.
You have to, John. Have you ever tried the C4 drinks?
Oh yeah, they make my heart palpitate.
They have a strawberry. They have a strawberry starburst one.
Yeah,
a strawberry starburst and a cherry starburst. I literally have one every single day before the gym.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I don't even know what that is. C4.
Oh my god, you guys are gonna have an early death.
So like Red Bull and Monster are like energy drinks, and C4 is like a workout drink. So I don't drink it unless
it has creatine in it.
It has a lot of garbage in it.
Garbage.
I used to drink No Explode before going to the gym.
Yeah.
Just to go to the bathroom.
I was going to say John needs that
because it sends you straight to the as soon as you have it.
No Explode, and I took that for about 10 years straight. And then I went to the doctors, and my triglycerides and all my numbers were through the roof, like my liver enzymes, all this shit.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they have a thing inside NO Explode called deer antler. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, deer antler.
It's from a deer, right?
I actually don't know exactly what it is, but you will find it in energy drinks. I think they banned it, so it might not be in there anymore. But it was something that was in energy drinks that was basically causing people to get messed up from it. So I had to come off of everything and let all my numbers just go back down.
Well, we actually
was great, man. You would get all tingly and.
I'm going to actually share my screen now because we actually got a hold of this doctor's report with the blood work, and this is pretty recent. You still have 3 deer antlers inside of you.
I still have a few antlers. Hold on, what's coming out right
now? All right, let's jump into the topic at hand. The topic tonight is how far is too far? What do you say there, Brandon?
How far? It's like Chris with the energy drinks. It's how far is too far.
Yeah. Drinking deer antlers for 10 years, it's too far.
So far.
Yeah. But we're talking about the collector hobby, right?
Yeah. Are you able to share the photo?
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh gosh, look at that. Holy mother of God.
That is just absolutely crazy.
It's nuts.
It's crazy.
What in the world?
We're going to lay that photo in after the fact. We're looking at nothing right now, but we all know the photo. The photo that made us think of this topic is just watching the groups over the years and watching people post some unusual things that they have in their collection or that they've made or had made for them or something they got graded, which is like, the first time they ever graded this certain kind of thing. But what we're showing on the screen here is what, Brandon? It's encased.
So Oreo made these Oreos, or I don't know who's Oreo.
Oreo made the Oreos?
Nabisco?
Yeah.
Nabisco came out with these Oreos that are Star Wars themed, and they have light side and dark side packages where you don't know what you're getting. So you could either get an Oreo cookie that's filled with blue frosting in the middle or red frosting in the middle for the light side and the dark side.
Let's just go ahead and say, I don't know if you guys got a package at your house, but my wife bought a package for me at one point. They were delicious.
They're very delicious. We went through several packages here.
Yeah, they were delicious.
The kids loved the light side and the dark side there, and we're always happy to see what characters you would get in the package. So you pull the characters out. Obviously, there's different ones in the pack. And the one that we're looking at here on the screen is a Jabba the Hutt. So Jabba the Hutt is one of the characters. And this post is by somebody who is a Jabba focus collector, to say the least.
Enthusiast.
And they encased one of the Oreo cookies in some sort of what is it?
Acrylic,
a silicone mold, if you will.
I was going to say, it looks like epoxy, right?
They use some epoxy resin from Amazon and some silicone molds intended for making chocolate-covered Oreos.
From CAS? CAS did that?
CAS, it was a 95 in CAS.
Real grade was 96.2.
So they took an actual cookie and they encased it in some epoxy resin to keep for their collection.
I'm pretty sure I know Chris's feelings on this, but what do you guys think? Like, if you were a Jabba collector, I don't know. If you were any collector, what's the thought there?
They have Boba Fett ones. They have Darth Vader ones. They have Darth Maul, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like,
is it cool? Is it just
unique?
Weird? Is it like way out there? What's your feeling?
For me, it's way out there. It's weird. It's crazy. It's absurd. Like, I wouldn't do food personally. I wouldn't do anything that's, I don't know, alive or I think that's just a little. It's just a little too much.
Yeah,
I think this person probably collected hair from the girls' locker room.
Oh, God. When he was in high school. I mean. For me, it was like if it was like one of those vintage pieces that you had as a kid, and maybe your grandmother gave it to you, and your grandmother just passed away, and you wanted to save like stuff like that. Like,
Grandma's not making Jabba the Hutt cookies.
Like nail clippings. What are we keeping here?
I'm just saying that there is a way that you can connect me to not finding it as crazy as a 2024 version of a cookie.
My grandmother met Elvis on a bus stop one time, and she has nail clippings from the king. What?
Well, you know what you're making me think of when you say food, guys, is there's people that have that C-3PO cereal from like 1981.
Yes.
Fully, like in the box, full of cereal.
And that's what I was thinking of too when we were talking about this.
Well, there's a difference there. So people are collecting the advertising that goes from that. Now everybody knows that keeping cereal in a box probably isn't gonna keep because it's gonna go bad and you're gonna attract roaches or ants or rats or mice or
at least it's not gonna
all sorts of random
get moldy
critters, but those things open after a while. Like, so
gross.
I've seen people collect an example here. I picked up this pretty large collection, and it had a lot of oddballs, which I still have here, which I'm going to list on the page soon. But lots and lots and lots of oddballs.
Mm-hmm.
You name it. There's stuff I've never seen before. Included in the oddballs was Taco Bell wrappers.
Oh.
Bags of chips, but just a bag, no chips.
Okay.
Pizza Hut cardboard boxes from episode 1.
Wait, are you talking about me?
with pizza with grease stains on the box.
Oh, a used box?
Used boxes.
Oh God. Come on, people.
What else was there? Like I was throwing away like burrito wrappers that had R2D2 on it. And so I know there's a lot of people that collect the advertising stuff from these fast food places, right? And grocery stores and all that. And I mean, back in the 90s or late 90s, remember when episode 1 came out and Pepsi came out with those cans?
The cans, yeah.
And you had to collect the Yoda can was gold. Aluminum. Yeah, so me and my best friend from back home, we went out and we had just started driving. So I was like, perfect, well, let's go collect cans because we thought it was cool, right? And we'd go and search for the cans, and we had each of us had a can collection. Well, lo and behold, I go off to college a couple years later, and I call my mom, and my mom's like, "Hey, remember those cans you guys collected?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, they exploded in your room," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So she's like, "You could have drained them. Like, why didn't you just open them and drain them?" I'm like, "No, Mom, it's going to take away from the value." And she's like, "No, you idiot! I just had to throw them all away because now there's ants everywhere, and they're, so." Those are the types of things that happen when you collect those food items. So you can't just keep the food in there. Like it's just not sanitary.
I've got a cup from a commemorative cup from Chipper Jones's last game, and it still has a half serving of Coca-Cola in it.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Oh God.
But now that we're talking about that, now I started collecting Star Wars, I want to say around 94, 95, when the Power of the Force 2 figures came out.
Yeah.
And now that Brandon said it, I have 2 large bins here of Taco Bell wrappers, the kids meal boxes from Taco Bell, because Taco Bell used to have kids meal boxes.
The hologram with the hologram?
With the hologram on it. They had the Taco Bell toys. I had all the cups. Then I went to Pizza Hut, and I had the Pizza Hut spin table that was on the table promoting it. I had all the posters that they gave away. I have boxes. I have the dishes. I have everything. So now that we're talking about that, I am one of those idiots.
If you ever bring up my memory card thing ever again,
can I buy them?
No, you collected those. You were collecting all those back in the 90s.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I was a kid.
Did not go that far but if I did stop at a McDonald's or a Taco Bell, I sure as hell kept that toy. I just wasn't into collecting all the advertising back then until the cans. And that's when I started, with that. But it ended with that after the explosion. And my mom throwing them all away. Sounds like my wife would do the same thing. Throwing them all away. So, but I'm
going to call Chris's wife off the air and tell her to find where those boxes are.
You still have them?
Throw them out.
Yeah.
You still have all that stuff?
Yeah, I sold the toys on the page 6 months ago.
You still have the wrappers and stuff?
I think Jason Belcher bought them. The toy. Yes, I have everything. Yes.
Oh my God. So you mean to tell me that you sell your childhood Star Wars ornaments, but you keep the Taco Bell wrappers?
Because I figured they weren't really going to be for sale. Like, who the hell's going to buy those stupid things?
Oh, man.
But I got to tell you, though, so Shane, we're talking about, I didn't physically go to Taco Bell, like eat a burrito and then like wipe it off on the napkin.
Yeah.
In a town where I grew up, like Taco Bell was right across the street from our house, like literally like a block away. I would just go there and I would ask them for the wrapper. I would ask them for the top, and I would ask them for the stuff. Same as Pizza Hut. If anything, I would actually. I did run behind the counter once and stole a movie poster. that was still rolled up in the tube of the Star Wars one because I needed the Jedi one, I believe it was. And, now I have all three 35 years later, 40 years later. But yeah, I don't really think there's stains on them because I think they were all brand new, but there might have been one or two.
So, and then that got me thinking of, I started collecting 1992. The only reason I know that is because the Dream Team, the McDonald's Dream Team cups. And I was collecting those when those came out, and around the same time as when Batman Returns came out, and I was collecting the McDonald's the fry holders because they were black and it had a picture of Batman on it.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
remember those? And the Happy Meals had that same stuff on there. But I did the same thing Chris did. I would ask for unused carton of the fry, whatever the container, the fry container. I gotta ask. A certain somebody that was at McDonald's recently, but
Trump you talk about?
Yeah. Like I used to collect all that back when I was a kid, just like Chris, I guess. And now it's like I don't think I see myself doing that anymore.
I love the idea of collecting, and I think I always have liked the idea of savings, like having some stuff, but collecting like food wrappers and stuff, even if they were brand new, like I don't think that ever
you wouldn't get a Leia Boushh one if you would.
Would. I mean, if it was brand new, if it was like a one-off thing to put on the shelf with the Focus collection, but to like collect a lineup of burrito wrappers, no.
I mean, this guy that collected this stuff, I mean, he had everything you could even think of. I was just blown away about the amount of stuff that this guy had that had Star Wars written on it.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But it's like,
and I got rid of most of it.
But can you compare myself as a 12-year-old kid riding his bicycle, saving the Star Wars advertisement, compared to a guy that's probably in his 40s or 50s, encasing a cookie from 2024?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you had like a Focus figure, I know you guys don't, collect everything you see, but I try to. Like if I see Leia Boushh on anything, I'll pick it up. I don't know if there was a cookie. I mean, obviously, I'm not just saving a cookie, but if somebody was encasing these things, I'm not doing that. Would I put that on my shelf? I guess. Like let's say if we went to the convention and there was a guy selling a table full of epoxy covered cookies, would I buy one? I guess I would.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it $50? No. Is it like $15? Yeah, I guess I would buy that, knowing that it would stay sealed. Yeah. But what other kind of things can you guys think of? I mean, we talked about advertising a little bit, but mostly in terms of food items. The only food item that I have in my collection, and it's just a random thing, is a Cheez-It box from, only like 7 or 8 years ago. My kids just finished their Cheez-Its and there was Star Wars on the box at the time. And they were little tiny toddlers. And they were like, Daddy, you could put this in your collection. And so it's on the top of my shelf there because I didn't have that much stuff at the time. But it's an empty box. It's literally a clean cardboard box. And it's because my kids brought it in here. But
you didn't go the extra mile and encase the Cheez-It that was shaped like Darth Vader.
No.
I mean,
the thing is, this guy went the extra mile to do that.
Yeah.
So
at the end of the day, there's some sort of mental illness involved with all this stuff. So,
oh yeah.
Well, I mean, what other things come to your mind? Like something that jumps into my mind is the roller skates. Like, it seems like it would have been a cool thing at the ages we would have been when they came out. Like Star Wars roller skates, they're like black and red, and they just have a vintage look to them. But the people who are, collecting those, and I don't know if any of you guys have them, but putting like little children-sized roller skates on their shelf, like, I'm kind of like, that's a bit much for me,
If they had a Leia one, you would have been all over it.
Or
what about soap?
Or underoos?
The underoos I was going to save for my next thing because, I've said that before, so that's kind of old hat. But collecting like sealed children's underwear to put in your collection, I'm just like,
So
Come on, guy.
So the guy I went to this morning to pick up some of the stuff. He's like, "Hey, do you want this pair of underoos?" And it was a sealed Ewoks underoos. And I was like, "Dude,
Nope.
I can't. I'm not going to be caught with that. I know people collect it, but I'm like, no thanks."
The only way I can see that being something you would have is if it was an exact pair or set of what you had as a kid, and you just remember loving it and wearing it all the time or whatever. And I had them. I mean, people my age all had underoos. I mean, they had superheroes, Star Wars, they had everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, every single kid wore them, but other kids didn't know you were wearing them. They were your underwear. You weren't wearing them out. If you had a connection to it
yesterday,
if you had a connection to it, I could see like saying, "Hey, I remember opening this package and I loved having." But like, there's guys who collect like little girls' underwear. And I'm like, well, why? Why do you have that?
Creepy.
It is, and
in a package.
It might be, just innocent, but I don't know. It's a weird thing to want to put in your collection on your shelf.
There is a mental illness to this for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something very freeing about people who don't collect, who can just throw things away. Like they were given a gift. They maybe used it a few times. Maybe they didn't. They're looking at it in a drawer, 2 years later, and they're like, "Hey, I don't use this. I'm throwing it out." I cannot do that because it makes me feel bad. Like I feel bad if somebody gave me a gift, like the idea that they went and shopped for something and spent money on something, and I'm going to throw it out, even if I don't use it. I can't get over that.
I don't know if that's I think that's more of a justification for the psychosis.
Well, it's not even like a collectible. It'll be something like, a kitchen utensil or something that I don't ever use.
We all share the same psychosis.
Well, yeah. I mean, my mom got me a couple shirts or whatever, and the other day I'm like looking at it and I'm like, I don't wear this anymore. Right. And then I'm like, oh, but my mom got it for me, so maybe I should like hold on. And I'm like,
yeah,
what am I doing?
I know, it's same thing here. She gets you the wrong size or something.
No, that's exactly. That's why I was like, I'm going to call Chris over, and Chris can just go through my closet. He can just throw everything out because he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. If you lived by my house, you would know. He
has a box full of Taco
He's
Bell wrappers.
He's got burrito wrappers and taco shells.
That's my childhood stuff from a collection when I collected in the 90s, okay?
Justification.
Difference. I would throw out the coffee maker on our countertop right now. I'd throw that out before I threw that stuff away.
Yeah.
But I throw stuff away all the time, especially having 3 kids and all 3 boys. It's like every boy has a scooter. I have like 9 scooters here. I tell them this all the time. I go, why is there so many scooters? We only have 3 kids. Well, that scooter is for when they were little, and this one's for when they were older. This one has a seat on it. And I go, start throwing it away. Like, there's only so much room in the garage. I am throwing shit away left and right all the time.
Do you guys do hand-me-downs at your house? You have to, right? I mean, no?
With the kids? No.
You're not passing like pajamas on that are still in good shape and jeans and stuff?
Clothes, yes. Never with the toys because
really?
I don't want
the toys are like thrashed.
We don't want our middle kid feeling like the middle child, like Charles. You know how he has a middle child. I don't want them to feel like that they only grew up with hand-me-downs. And I don't want the baby feeling like he only grew up with hand-me-downs. I want them to get like something nice and new. So like for Jackson's birthday, we got him an iPad. Now we should have gotten him the Amazon Kindle thing,
the Fire Kids,
which is what Grayson had, and then we just upgraded him to the iPad. And I was dead set against it, and I said no, he's getting an iPad. I don't want to give him Grayson's old Kindle. I want him to feel like he got something new and feel special and whatever. So now he has his iPad and he's all happy now. But like. All that stuff here, dude, I throw all that stuff away. I don't want it sitting here. It's just going to sit here. Like, what good is it going to do here?
See, there's a scale here, like a spectrum. There's some things that it can be obvious. Some things like we passed down the Kindle Fire Kids from my daughter to my son when she was ready for the larger, older kid one. And what we did? We ripped off the $15 pink cover protector thing and bought a blue one.
Yeah.
And I don't even, if you asked him right now, I bet you he would have no idea it was hers. We reformatted it, and there you go. You got a Kindle Fire, thing. But some things are obvious, like scooters and stuff. Yeah, I get that.
We don't want to have a Charles here on hand where he's going the rest of his life complaining that he was middle child syndrome and that he never got anything new growing up as a kid. So that like sticks in the back of my brain. So I'm always like, you know what? He's getting it new. If Grayson got it new, he gets it new. Clothes, different story. But like, when it comes to toys and bikes and stuff like that, we're trying to.
I mean, you guys have got to save a ton on clothes. I mean, just in, T-shirts and jeans. I mean, clothes are expensive.
Yes. And we have a rule in our house, like Lisa and I, whenever we give gifts, I don't do gifts really. We do like a small gift for them to open up. I'm big into money. Everything with me is cash. Everything goes in their 529 college fund, or it goes into their other funds that they have, like, because they all have mutual funds. So I put it right into the mutual fund or the 529. And if anyone's buying that, it's the grandparents, it's the aunts, it's the uncles. It's really not from us.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so let's start to wind down this episode. Any other things that jump into your mind? Really collectors' items. Obviously there's a lot of oddballs. There's some weird stuff, but restaurant bells, that hang. I've seen some of that stuff. Obviously, those Burger King glasses are a classic thing. There's a lot of display pieces with that are. I find that pretty cool. I mean, where would you put that in your house? I have no idea, but. Those are pretty expensive.
Some of these displays that people pick up, they're just massive.
Yeah,
and there's people that collect just displays, and I just don't know where they must have a museum that put some of this stuff in.
Well, speaking of display, what about that vintage Darth Vader that used to hold like jewelry on it? You remember that thing? It looks really weird when it's empty because you can't even imagine what was on it, but it had all those packaged like necklaces and earrings and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's also the R2D2 stand-up thing from like the supermarket where it had all the bubble bath and the soap and the shampoo on it.
So I didn't tell you guys, like, about last year in a collection, I got the Star Wars Burger King glasses in. I said, you know what? I'm going to start using the glasses. And my wife was dead set against it, didn't want them in the cabinet. But I said, you know what? Like, I don't care. I washed them. I put them in the cabinet, and I started using them. The second time I used it, I put it in the sink. The fucking thing cracked. It just broke right apart.
Oh.
It's 40-year-old glass. I don't know if it gets weaker. I have no clue, but it cracked very easily just from me washing it.
I heard that.
I know what Brandon
has lead on them.
Yeah, I don't use them because I read that they're made with the paint has lead in it.
Yeah, you're not supposed to use them anymore.
Oh, I was drinking right out of it.
So, I mean, we grew up our whole lives drinking out of them. So what's the difference? But
exactly, yeah, and breathing in all the other bad crap.
Yeah. You know what I found the other day that I didn't even know they had was Indiana Jones glasses from Burger King or whatever. Yeah,
and those are really cool too.
Yeah,
I remember quite a few different things that I didn't know existed in glasses recently.
Burger King had a set of King Kong glasses.
Oh,
when the movie King Kong came out in like
1943.
No, 78, 79, something like that. With I think Jeff Bridges was in it, right?
I don't know, John. You're the only one that was alive back then.
Yeah, we weren't alive yet, John.
You were. Shane.
I might have been 8 months old. I don't remember.
Yeah, Shane remembers going. He remembers going to the movie to see that.
Yeah, for King Kong, I was 8 months old. There was a lot of lights. I remember that. Yeah,
but I remember those King Kong glasses. I had a set of those when I was a kid. So
yeah, I remember the thing that my wife reminded me of. I think it was Burger King, maybe McDonald's. There were Muppet glasses, like clear glasses with
got some of those,
a collection of Muppets on it. And her and her sister were huge Muppet fans. I mean, I was too, but they would watch it on VHS, like on.
It was
repeat.
the Muppet movie.
Yes, yeah,
the Muppet movie, yeah.
So they remember having those glasses; those were big for them.
So getting back to some of the weird things, I just remembered there was an auction house that was auctioning off certain items, and they mostly do autographs and posters and music type stuff. But they had a piece of the car where JFK was assassinated in. Like a piece of the fabric of the seat that he was sitting in with apparently blood stain on the fabric. I've seen that. I've seen now that's bizarre stuff.
And then like president's hair.
I was going to bring that
Abe
up.
Lincoln, the blanket that covered his body with a potential little DNA, bloody DNA part on it, cut in the. And I was like, how do these people get? Back then, nobody. Is Shane alive? What happened to him?
Because people are creeps. That's why.
Well, back then, I mean, John, when did he die? Back in
1865, right? 66.
John was born 2 years later in 1867.
I was born in 1867.
Man, can you imagine people back then having the foresight to keep a blanket that wrapped Abe Lincoln's body in it, and then
no, not really, because he's the president. So you're going to keep. Everyone knows anything of a figure like that is
Well, it's like, isn't the Shroud of Turin still around?
Is that the one that was on Jesus' face?
Yeah. Isn't that still around?
Well,
I
was going to say there was somebody. I think we might have talked about this in one episode. There was somebody in the last couple of years. I don't remember if it was in a group or if it was TV or something. Somebody got a hold of some hair, whether it was, I don't know, Elvis or something like that. And you were like, okay, like that's kind of weird, but okay. And then all of a sudden they keep talking and they go, oh, I'm going to put this in my hair collection. And you're like, what? Yeah. And she's like, I have, 7 presidents' hair and I have this person. And whoever it was had like a whole collection of hair of famous people. And I'm just like, I can't listen to this anymore. This is, I gotta get out of this.
Oh, man.
I mean, that's just too much for me.
I mean, I think somebody was auctioning off Kurt Cobain's hair, like a snippet of his hair.
I have no interest in anything like that.
Collecting is a sickness.
But imagine. I mean,
well, when you think,
is that too far?
Well, when you think about it, what's one of the MOs of serial killers? They collect something from each one of their kills, right?
But it's like, it's always
a common
that
one.
joke.
It's not all the time, but
it's like that joke that's been around in sitcoms forever. Like, there's some famous singer or something, and some girl runs over and goes, he left his gum on the, in a napkin or whatever. And, they got something that was close to him, or it's like, it was a joke. Like, but there's people that really collect like that. Like, I have a glass with so-and-so's lipstick on it.
Someone tried selling Britney Spears gum on eBay like 15, 20 years ago, and they wanted like $10,000 for it. And there was a video or a picture of her throwing it into the crowd and the woman grabbing it and saying, here's the gum, and then selling it on eBay.
I mean, listen, if you want something timely, I just saw the article today that the 50th home run of Shohei Ohtani, it just sold, and I'll tell you, it made me think back to the price was about $4.5 million, I think.
Yeah, 4.4 million,
something like that. And I think back to McGuire, and I think back to Bonds when those big home runs were getting hit, and I just don't understand it. Like, if you have FU money and you don't care, if you're a billionaire, it's like for us spending $1,000. But I don't know why that's worth $4 million. That's the 50-50 home run, but he hit 4 more home runs. It's not even the number he finished with. So I'm a huge baseball fan, and I'm a baseball historian. I'm all about stats and stuff. I just don't get why some home runs are like ridiculous, go for a ridiculous price at an auction. I don't get it.
There's not even an owner to that ball. So if you know the story, the ball right now went up for auction. It was agreed by 2 parties because right now people are suing each other.
Yeah, there's an 18-year-old suing the man.
Apparently an 18-year-old kid caught the ball, and then a man, after it was all said and done, grabbed it out of his hand like seconds or a minute later.
Have you seen the video?
I didn't watch the video today, but I saw all the comments.
You have to see the video. So
I watched the video.
The ball ends up in the stands, and then you see a bunch of people diving for it, and there's a guy who's filming it right there, and everyone's like, "You idiot! You should have gone for the ball instead of filming it."
Correct. Yes.
And so the guy and the kid were like fighting over it, and the guy pretty much muscles it out of the kid's hand, from what I can tell.
Oh wow!
And he comes up with the ball, and the kid's just standing there like, whatever, like, hey, that was kind of mine or whatever. But I mean.
See, all the comments I was reading today was like, "Hey, have you watched the video? The kid never even had it." So I was thinking it was the opposite.
Can't really see.
As being a baseball fan, Shane, you know that when you're in the stands and a ball is hit, that happens almost on every single play.
Right.
It's a free-for-all for the ball. Like in football, when there's a fumble, and whoever's left at the bottom of the pile holding on to the ball, no matter what happens under the pile, because everyone knows it does exchange hands, but no one sees it. Right. Whoever ends up with it, and the guy ended up having it, and this kid's suing right now, and now they won't give the guy the money for the sale. The kid gets nothing. They're going through court, and it's like,
I even cringe when somebody finally does get the ball and they grab it and they do one of these and hold it up. I'm cringing when I see that when it's a big home run, because I'm like, and I'm talking one of these mile marker home runs. I'm like, somebody could grab that out of your hand. I wouldn't even be waving it around. Like, put that, hold that to your chest or something. But
I mean, it's. I mean, in that case, I would just split it with the kid and just call it good or whatever, because you're each gonna make a couple million, whatever, But if it was in his hands, and you pry it out of his hands, obviously that's not cool. You can't really tell in the video. They both dove on the ground. There was other people in the way, and then you can see there was a little scuffling going on, and the guy kind of reaches up with it. You don't really know who had it. Like Chris said, it might have changed hands 3 or 4 times in there.
Let's start a new collection. That dude's teeth.
Well, you know what? Just an extension of this conversation that bothers me, that really, really bothers me, is when you hear about these important home runs, and maybe it's not so important to baseball. I don't know, Aaron Judge's 200th or 300th home run. Yeah, it's cool. If you're a Yankee fan, it's awesome. But are you taking that to auction? No, not really. No. But the teams will send out representatives to that fan who got the ball, and they'll a lot of times scurry them away and take them, to where they can speak to them directly in a room or whatever. And they offer them garbage for the ball. And they say, "Oh, if you give the ball, we'll give you a signed photo and a baseball bat of the players,
tickets to next week's game,
and tickets to next week's game."
You can you can meet them. You can meet Shohei.
Well, no. See, this is the thing. Every situation is different, but what I specifically remember with the Shohei thing, I hope I don't have this wrong. The fan, I think it was Shohei, wanted to meet the player. Maybe it was another player, but wanted to meet the player and was like, "I'll give him the ball if I can meet him and he can sign this stuff for me in person." And the player said no.
I don't think that was Shohei then.
It was somebody then. It was like within the last year or two.
I remember that story, actually.
And I was shocked. I was like, he doesn't want the ball. Like, he doesn't want to meet the fan just to get the, why would you not want to meet the fan? They're giving you the ball.
This was somebody else. I remember there was a big name that did something. Was it the Aaron Judge? No, it wasn't the Aaron Judge one. Because he would. No.
But, I've seen this story in sports for years now where there's, a baseball that was hit and they offer the person,
garbage,
the equivalent of garbage. I mean, any fan would love to have, assign this or assign that. But, when you have a baseball that could be worth $1 million, let's say, I mean, offer them a signed baseball bat and tickets to a game is trash. So if I'm a fan and I catch a ball, I'm taking it out of the stadium with me. And you know what? They refuse to authenticate it sometimes. Yeah. If you don't agree to give it to the player, they gave somebody trouble about authenticating it in the stadium. They have a special sticker they put on it that will say, yes, this is the baseball that was hit, that this fan caught. And one person, there was a story, I think it was early this year or so, said, I was held hostage in a room. I think it was a woman. She's like, I caught the ball. I was in the room with my husband and these representatives, and they were giving us the business. Like they wouldn't let us leave without coming to an agreement, and I felt like I couldn't leave with it, and that's not right.
They did something like that on that Eli. What's that guy's name that has the auction house, Golden Auction?
Yes,
or whatever. There was an episode where
Golden Auctions,
caught somebody's home run ball or something like that, and they took him back, and they offered him all this stuff, and so they could have the ball. And then he's like, "Okay, I'll tell you what, we'll do it on consignment. We'll auction it off for you, and then we'll give it."
Yeah. So that's we're kind of getting off the path here, but those are the kind of things that people collect. Is they collect weird things for people that they're fans of, and I'm sure there's a lot more in the toy collecting hobby that we're not thinking of, but a lot of that food stuff is bothering me. I can't believe Chris has a box of old taco wrappers in his house. I can't even believe it. I can't believe I was in that house with those wrappers.
And pizza boxes.
And used pizza boxes.
and Happy Meal boxes.
But no, he doesn't have the used pizza boxes. Brandon does.
Yeah.
No, I got rid of all that. I sold it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it.
Actually.
I think that's going to do it.
Somebody bought all that crap. Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, good. I'm glad you got rid of it.
Local guy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of 5 Idiots Talking Toys. We're involved in a 3-way here. Looks like.
Whoa. 3 idiots talking toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John, what do they call it when you're sitting in the middle? We'll say that for an After Dark episode.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button on YouTube here. Like this video and comment below. We want to hear what you thought about this topic. Do you collect anything interesting, odd, weird, a little out there? We want to hear about it. And we will see you next time on 5 Idiots Talking Toys. Please visit patreon.com/5 Idiots Talking Toys. You can get all kinds of benefits there. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.